Hi class, today we're going to do a review of one-step equations. So we just want to make sure we all remember how to solve equations. Remember that equations are anything with an equal sign. And so let's take a look at this number 10 right here where we have n plus 16 equals 9. Remember that n is a variable, it stands for our unknown. So if we have that n plus 16 equals 9, we need to solve for the n. So the steps to solving for an equation, we always draw the line where the equal sign is to separate the two sides. Then we locate our variable here, the n. The n is not by itself, it has an n plus 16. So in order to get rid of that positive 16, we have to do the inverse operation of plus 16, which the opposite of plus is minus. So if you minus 16 on one side, you have to minus 16 on the other side. So if we're going to 16 minus 16, those two things cancel each other out and we're left with n. And then if we have 9 minus 16, that's going to give us a negative number. And we get negative 7. So n equals negative 7. So if we want to look at number 9 over here, number 9, same thing. We're going to draw a line where the equal sign is to separate the two sides. We find the variable, which is the v. It has a minus 15. The inverse of minus is plus. If we add 15 to one side, we have to add 15 to the other side because whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other because it's like a balance beam and we have to keep both sides of the equation equal at all times. The minus 15 and plus 15 cancels each other out and we're left with the v. Negative 27 plus 15 gives me a positive, negative 27 plus 15. The negative number is bigger, so the answer is still going to be negative, and we end up with a negative 12. Then let's move on to 11 here. So in 11, we have negative 104 equals 8. So we're going to draw the line where the equal sign to get both sides separated from each other. We're going to find the variable, which is right here, the x next to the 8. And so that x and that 8 are being multiplied. And what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So the opposite of multiplying by 8 is dividing by 8. So if we take 8 divided by 8, those cancel out and we leave with just the x. But if we divide one side by 8, we have to divide the other side by 8. So negative 104 divided by 8 is negative 13, and x equals negative 13. One more we're going to do here as an example, and that's number 13. We have negative 6 equals b divided by 18. Draw the line where the equal sign is to divide both sides of the equation. Locate our variable, which is the b right here. The b is not alone. The b is being divided by 18. What's the opposite of division or the inverse of division? It's multiplication. So I'm going to multiply this side by 18. The reason we multiply by 18 is multiplying by 18 is the opposite of dividing by 18, and they cancel out, and that leaves the b by itself. But if we multiply one side by 18, we have to multiply the other side by 18. So if we do 18 times negative 6, we end up with negative 108, and we get b equals negative 108. So these are solving one-step equations.